We would like to introduce you to the three-layered approach to reducing floods: home and small businesses, community, and catchment. The first layer is at the home. It can include measures like putting floodgates on your property and using flood-resilient materials in homes, like tiles instead of carpets. It also includes signing up to the flood warnings and making a flood plan, so you know what to do if a flood is forecast. You can use the Environment Agency website to check if you live in a flood risk area by putting in your postcode. You can sign up for flood warnings, This is a free service, and you'll receive a text or email when flooding is expected and how severe that expected flooding is likely to be. To help make quick decisions when you receive a flood warning, it can help to make a flood plan. For some people, this can be as simple as taking some time to think about what they would do if flooding was expected. For others, it could be writing down a detailed plan, making sure important phone numbers are stored, and having a flood bag with essentials like first aid kit, fresh water, and medication ready in case it is needed. The second layer in reducing flood risk is to look at the community where the flooding is happening. There are a number of ways to reduce flooding to a community. Some of these are schemes that are in place all the time, like flood walls and embankments or bypass channels. Other community-level approaches are only put up when flooding is expected. These include temporary flood barriers or demountable flood barriers, often combined with pumps. The diagram here shows a river and its catchment. The catchment is the whole of the valley, from the hills to the floodplain. The green area, the river's catchment, is where the rain falls. This water then drains towards the rivers. Some rainfall seeps into the ground, while some runs across the ground into streams, which in turn feed into the central river. The catchment scale for the whole of the non-tidal part of the River Thames, which is everything upstream of its tidal limit in West London, is the scale of the area we're looking at for the Thames Valley Flood Scheme. The Thames Valley Flood Scheme is looking to complement the community and the household level approaches. It will act as an overlay across the whole catchment, looking at what can be done to make a big difference to flood risk over the largest geographical area and providing climate resilience. The flood scheme is considering all these approaches, but we will be looking at which ones have the most potential to contribute to managing flood risk at a catchment or large geographical scale. As part of the consultation, we'll be asking you whether you think there's another approach that we should be considering that isn't on the list. So how will we decide which of these approaches to managing flood risk will be taken forward? We do not yet know which of these approaches to managing flood risk the scheme will include. We're at an early stage of the project where we're looking at all the options to make sure we're considering everything. There may be some we haven't even thought of yet, and they will come up through the consultation process. As the project develops, we will need to decide which of the ways of managing flood risk are the most effective or appropriate for the Thames Valley. The decision on which approach to be taken forward will depend on a large number of factors, including the technical feasibility, which means can it be physically built? The cost of the project relative to the flood risk benefit it will bring? Are there benefits associated with delivery, including improvement to the natural environment, environmental constraints, for example, heritage buildings, technical sustainability? Will it stand the test of time? And information provided through engagement and consultation.